Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Today I'm here to film one of my favorite videos that I film every year, and that is my favorite fall read. So I'm seasonal, I've said it time and time again. My favorite season is autumn. My daughter's name is Autumn. That shows you how much I love the season. So I love some good fall reads. I look forward to September every single year because that just gets me into the seasonal fall mood. And I have a lot of books that I want to talk about that are my fall favorites. And I have three predominant categories that I'm talking about today. I have the cozy reads that are just perfect, very seasonal reads, just cozy, wrap you up in a blanket, light a candle kind of reads. And then I have witchy cozy. So these are cozy books, but they have a little bit of paranormal, a little bit of witchy vibes to them, which fits in with the fall because October is right around the corner, spooky season, you get it. And I've got a few atmospheric reads, and what that means is they're a little bit darker, maybe kind of more perfect to read like on a rainy, moody, kind of dreary day that just have very big atmospheric vibes to them. So I have a lot of books to talk about. I'll link them all down below, but without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we're going to talk about the cozy book section. I have a few that I recommend every single year. They will never change. They are always in my fall favorites because they are some of my fall favorites. The first one is one that I bought at Target many moons ago. I saw it at Target. Me and it locked eyes. Its cover called out to me and I said, yes, I'm here for you. I will take you home. I don't care what the contents are inside of you, but the cover, you're coming home with me. And that is the Bake Shop at Pumpkin and Spice. This remains my favorite fall cover of a book of all time. This is me in a cover. Like, it's fallish, it's got lots of oranges, it's like a bake shop, it's got pumpkin cookies and leaf cookies and pies and so this is a series and it's set all in this town called Moonbright, where it's a very big seasonal town, like a very small town, Halloween, if you will. And there are 3 short stories in each one of these collections. This one is coincidentally my favorite out of the 2 I've read in the series. This one has Donna Kaufman, Kay Engel, and Allison Charles. Is this book gonna like revolutionize your world? No, but if you just want something very seasonal and cute, this series will do you no wrong. We also have The Cafe Between Pumpkin and Pie. I don't love the cover as much, and I don't love the book as much, but this series, like if you're just looking for something that can maybe direct you into a fall mood, look no further. And the other book I always recommend is a YA graphic novel called Pumpkinheads. I lent this out to somebody, I've never seen it again, so I have a library copy. Love this one. I reread it every single year because it's just a quick, fun read. So it's about 2 characters, Josie and Deja, and it's their last season working at this place called the Pumpkin Patch, which is like the quintessential pumpkin patch if I've ever freaking seen one. Like, this place has like hay rides, corn maze. My favorite thing is a s'mores pit. Oh, s'mores. It has a Pappy apples. It has kettle corn kettle, a pumpkin drop, a pumpkin bomb stand. It has just everything. Like, it is such a warm thing. So basically, this takes place in one night. It's their last night working at this place. And Josie decides he's going to talk to the cute girl that he's always liked, and Deja follows along. And it's kind of just chronicles their night. And I talk about this book every single year because she always talks about this thing called a pumpkin bomb, which is a vanilla ice cream sandwich between 2 wedges of pumpkin pie and a stick dipped in chocolate, which basically sounds like heaven. So if you don't even like YA, which I don't read a lot of YA anymore, this is just a quintessential fall read. Like, you will love it. Trust me, it's my favorite like fall read of all time. It's quick, it's fast, it's fun, and seasonal to the core. Next up, we have another one that I recently just read, and it definitely fits the vibes on kind of the same one as the Bake Shop at Pumpkin Spice, and that is coincidentally called The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, called by, I forgot the other's name. I think her last name was Gilmore even, and I was like, I have to read this. But basically, this is kind of like a cozy book. It's classified as cozy mystery. There's not really a mystery into it, but it's about this woman that decides to kind of change her life around. She works at a very high corporate job and she inherits her aunt's like coffee shop. It's like it's called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe in this very small town, and she's taken it over. She meets a guy, and it's just, that's what the whole book is about. It doesn't have a really big plot to it. It doesn't have a lot of really good character development, but it's just a fun, warm, cozy read. It is literally like reading about the town of Stars Hollow. If you watch Gilmore Girls, you know, she's just kind of enveloped into the town's antics. You know, she gets involved in like judging a contest, things like that. It's super cute, super amazing. It didn't rock my world or anything, but it did make me ready for fall, and That's what counts. Then we have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. So this one could be under witchy cozy. It probably should be, but you know what? We're just, whatever. It is what it is. So this book is about a character named Florence who is a ghostwriter, which means that she writes books for famous authors that put their name on it, and she's the one that actually writes it. She doesn't really get credit for it. She gets paid for it. And basically what happens is she is a popular ghostwriter for this amazing romance author, but the only problem is Florence does not believe in love anymore. She is just doesn't believe in it. So she has a new editor who is a super cute guy, but he is very strict on deadlines. He's like, you have till the end of the week to give me this book. And she's like, crap, how am I going to write a romance novel when I don't believe in love? And then she gets a call that her father has suddenly passed away. So she has to go back to this very, very small town where she's from, where her dad, like her family owned a funeral parlor, and she goes there to mourn her dad. And then next thing you know, she sees the cute editor, only he's dead. He's a ghost, because Florence can also see ghosts, and maybe a relationship happens. It is super cozy. Again, it's a very small town-esque vibe where everyone knows everybody's business, that kind of thing. But this has got all of the yearning. If you want some good fall yearning, look no further than this book. And then we have another recent read, and that is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I read this one because I love her other book, Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I didn't love this one as much, but it is kind of fallish again, where it's a small town where everybody knows everybody. It's not overtly fall. The book starts in like summertime and kind of ends around winter, so you get the whole kind of seasons, but it's fallish in the way she goes on hikes and really experiences nature and stuff like that, and I really got a fall vibe from it. Does that make any sense? I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. But either way, it's about a character named Aurora who decides to go back to this small town of Colorado that she used to live in, a long time ago before her mom passed away. She's recently just struggling with a divorce, and she rents out this like garage apartment from this guy named Rhodes, and he is very grumpy. It's a very grumpy One Meets Sunshine, another slow burn romance with all of the yearning, but it's a great one. The townspeople are great. The whole hiking aspect is really great, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, now moving on to my biggest category is witchy / paranormal cozy. Buckle up, because I got a lot. First step being the most cozy book you'll probably read this year, and that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. If this book does not scream autumn, I don't know what freaking does. It is kind of good in winter too, but goodness me. This book is all about a character named Viv, who is an orc, and she is done battling. She wants to hang up her sword. She's done killing, you know. She wants to open up her own coffee shop, you know. Good for you. So she does just that, and she opens up a coffee shop in this world really where no one knows what coffee is. Like, it's literally, this whole book is just people learning about coffee and kind of expanding. Like, you know, when she starts, it's just like a hot cup of coffee, but then she's like, maybe I'll put ice into it and make it iced coffee. Maybe I'll hire this little mouse that can make these beautiful cinnamon rolls, and maybe biscotti. Maybe we can have some like live music. And you know, it's like all obvious things because you're like, duh, coffee shop. But from a world that has never experienced it before, it is freaking done amazingly. Like, it's so cozy and warm, and I wanted to go to this coffee shop and just live there. It was great. I loved it. If you just want a good book about an orc opening up a coffee shop and feeling all of the warm and cozy things, this one delivers on that. Another warm and cozy one is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Madana. I read this last year, fell in love with it. It is like kind of a witchy Gilmore Girls, if you will. So we have a character named Micah who is a witch, but shh, you don't talk about that. Like, she meets up with like kind of her coven every few months, and they have very strict rules with being witches. Like, they can't be friends, they can't practice witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. They have to be very hush-hush about it. And Micah does not really like that. And so she gets a job opportunity to teach these 3 young girls that are witches to kind of learn about how to be a witch. And she knows she shouldn't do it because it's against the rules, but she's like, you know what, no, I grew up alone, never knowing how to control my magic, and I'm not going to do that for these kids. And so she goes to this little manor, like a house on a hill, and she teaches these girls how to use magic, and it is so warm and cozy. There's a grumpy librarian, there's a butler and another guy. It is just the most heartwarming thing you'll ever read. It's like a found family, and it is just a witchy, cozy, warm, amazing time. Another recent read is At the Coffee Shop of Curiosities by Heather Weber. This one, again, is very Gilmore Girl-esque vibe where the townspeople know everybody, everyone's rooting for everybody. When somebody's down, everyone helps each other up. In this book, we follow a slew of characters. We follow Ava, who has recently lost her ex-boyfriend, like super recently, and she's just kind of doesn't know what to do. And then she gets a mysterious letter in the mail of a job opportunity in this really small town in Alabama, I believe, and she goes to this coffee shop named Magpies where she meets Maggie, who wrote the job description, but she's like, I threw that away. Like, how did you get that? And it's all kind of magical and whimsical. And she becomes a caretaker for Maggie's dad. So we have all of that going on. We follow Maggie, who owns this coffee shop she's trying to figure out if she should buy it or not. She also has like this table of curiosities where sometimes she feels drawn to give somebody a little trinket off of it that'll speak to them. And it's just so cozy. It's not like the best one, but the small town atmosphere, man, this might be the best one I've read with a very good small town. Like, everybody knew everybody rooted for each other, they knew what jobs. It reminded me of all like the small town books I've read. This town reminded me the most of Stars Hollow, and I am always in a search for a book that can give me that same feeling that Stars Hollow does, you know, when I watch Gilmore Girls, and this one has come the closest to the townspeople and kind of things like that. This one just adds a little bit of a dash of magic, which I did enjoy, so I would recommend it for fall. It takes place, like, it starts in September, and it's in Alabama. I live in the South. Do we have amazing falls here? Not really, but we can dream, right? You know how it goes. Another small town book, because gosh, that just speaks to all the fall loving hearts out there, doesn't it? It does to mine. We have The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. This one is a witchy one for sure. It's about a character named Vivi, who 9 years ago got her heart broken, and she decides she's going to do what every witch does when she gets her heart broken. She is going to drink vodka, listen to weepy music, have a bubble bath, and then put a curse on the next boyfriend. I mean, why not? And so she does just that, and it's really a no-no. You should never put a curse on anybody. Nothing ever comes of it, though. Now, 9 years later, Reese, her ex-boyfriend, shows up in town because he is one of the town's like kind of founding families, and he's there to recharge the ley line of magic, if you know anything about ley lines and magic. And as soon as he steps foot in this town, I think the town is called Graves Glen, things start happening, like murderous wind-up toys, a pissed off ghost, and a talking cat. So Vivi knows that her curse has finally come to light, and she has to tell Reese. She has to team up with Reese to kind of save the town. And it's a fun, kooky, witchy time. Is it truly amazing? No, but it was fun, it was steamy, and it was witchy. All things I like. Another witchy one is Cackle by Rachel Harrison. Now, Rachel Harrison's classified as horror, and I say every time that I don't really agree with that, and that's coming from someone that is scared very, very easily. Like, So to have her books classified as horror, I don't know. But this one is her witchy one that is not really scary at all, in my opinion. It's about a character named Anne who she decides to accept a new teaching position and moves from Manhattan to a small village upstate. And basically it's another, you guessed it, small town. And there she meets this beautiful girl named Sophie, who's kind of elusive. Everyone in the town is kind of scared of her, but the more she learns about Sophie, the more she learns that Sophie might be a witch. And it's basically about friendship, some witchy vibes. A lot of spiders are in this book that could make it a little scary, but I think it was mostly like a friendship witch vibe going on, and I really liked it, honestly. It was just fun and quirky, and I do like Rachel Harrison's reading. They're not scary to me, so I don't know why. Again, they're classified as horror, but maybe that's just me. Then we have another one that I have yet to read, but I still want to throw in here because I'm planning to read it very, very soon. And that is The Unfortunate Side of Heartbreaks and Magic. I forget the author, but all I know is about this one. It's another type of coffee shop type of book where it's about grief too and found family, and throwing a little bit of a magic vibe as well. So I'm including in this one in here in hopes that it'll be fallish, which I think it will be. I think like everyone is reading it this month, including myself, for good reason, because it just screams fall. Even the tagline of the book says, for fans of Gilmore Girls and practical magic. You literally don't need to tell me anything more, which is why I probably know nothing about the synopsis, but have been planning to read it. You got me. You got me. So I'm including that in here. My last section is atmospheric books, books that just, their setting really is all the vibes. Some of these settings, yes, we're in small town, but these atmospheric books are truly that. the setting is like part of the book. It's like a character, if you will. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This one's also kind of magical, but honestly, it's more atmospheric than anything. This again is set in this very small island town, if you will, like where everybody knows each other. And many years ago, these two characters, Emery and August, were in love, and this big tragic fire happened, and August and his mom basically fled in the middle of the night, and she hasn't seen him yet. And now it's been many, many years later. August is back on this island, much to everyone's surprise and hatred, honestly, because he's there to bury his mother. And Emery and him meet up, and they start uncovering things about the past, and magic happens because Emery comes from a family of witches, and it's just, this island is spooky and mystical and kind of has this hold on all these people living on it, and everybody's very hush hush in this island town. The writing in this is top notch, and it's very atmospheric, which is why I love it so much. The plot is not the best, but goodness me, the writing, the atmosphere, it makes it perfect, literally perfect for the fall. I'm reading her new book coming out very soon because I'm hoping it gives me the same type of vibes. And we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. This is a mystery thriller where the setting is top notch. This one's kind of best to read near Halloween. It's got that spooky kind of eerie quality to it. So we follow a character named, you guessed it, Daisy Darker, and her mother and her grandmother lives in this house, like on this island, like where when the tide comes in, like, good luck, you ain't leaving this island till the next day. And it's Halloween, her grandmother's birthday. And it's kind of a take on Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. If you don't know that book, it's basically every hour somebody dies. And they're trying to figure out who did it. So the Darker family's there, and one by one they slowly get killed, and it's just such an interesting book. Like the way the Alice Feeney writes about this house where you can taste the salt air and taste the salt water. It is amazing. I love it. My favorite Alice Feeney book by far. Then the last book I have is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zordita Cordova. This is one that's not overtly fall or anything, but it's got a magical atmospheric quality to it that I think would be great to read in fall. So this one is hard to explain. It's about the it's about the Montoya family, and basically they're all kind of magic-y, if you will. And Orquídea is kind of the matriarch of this whole family, and she sends a letter out to all of her daughters, sons, granddaughters, grandsons, saying that she is going to die soon, to come to the home to collect their inheritance. And so they go, she passes away, and then a curse is kind of put on the Montoyas where each one of them starts dying and weird things start happening. And it's just so a magical realism, but also found family and also magic. I just really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite books that I read last year. It's a good reason because, again, it is so beautiful and amazing. I love it. So there you have some of my favorite ever fall reads. Every year this list grows more and more, and I think I can't add more onto this list. I do. But that's okay. I love it. I will always love adding fall reads because they are truly some of my favorite books to read. Like, I love a good seasonal book any day of the week. Like, fall time is my jam. I would love to know some of your favorite fall reads down below. Please leave them in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.